Thanks for listening to the Lunch and Learn with Dr. Barry, here to help educate, motivate, and put you on the right path to take control of your health through weekly discussions on topics in the medical field, public health arena, and in your community. And now your host, Dr. Barry.
Welcome to the Lunch and Learn with Dr. Barry. This is your host, Dr. Barry here, and I'm excited for another episode. This one, particularly, we're going to be talking about health insurance, and we're going to be talking about health insurance from an expert on the field, and actually an insurance agent and sponsor of today's episode at Classic Insurance. So please stay tuned, and if you want my show notes, please head over to drpierresblog.com/LLP046. All right, and welcome everyone to another episode of the Lunch and Learn with Dr. Barry. This is episode 46, and first of all, I want to say I'm excited. Like I say every week, I'm excited, but I'm really, really excited about this one because this is our first sponsored podcast. You know, if you're a podcaster out there, you know how hard it is to actually get sponsors, you know, to really kind of buy into your message. And this is our first one, episode 46. And I'm actually excited because we have someone from a field that I talk about all the time, an expert in that expertise of getting insurance, right? So we're going to be talking to Roger Mark from Classic Insurance agent, who is absolutely amazing and has close ties to me, myself, because he's family, right? And of course, like I've always talked about, making sure you keep everything in the family when you're doing business, whatever you're doing, right? So we're going to be talking about health insurance. We're going to be talking about how to get on health insurance, why you need an insurance agent, and don't just go to like these random websites because you know me. I hate like all these random websites that are popping up and just trying to get you to put all your crazy information in there and not actually help you get the insurance you need. So, but before I do, please, let's welcome Roger Mark, our guest sponsor of the podcast, to the Lunch and Learn world with Dr. Barry.
Thank you.
So
Good
Roger,
afternoon, Mr. Pierre. How are you today?
I'm well, thank you. I appreciate it. Like I said, we are ecstatic that you can be here. I know the listeners are going to be very in tune to this episode, especially because, like, I stress the importance of taking care of your health and making sure that you're doing all you can. But for the most part, right, when you want to do that, right, you got to get health insurance, right?
Definitely, health insurance is necessary, especially if you know you're one of those person that go to the doctor for every little thing. I mean, you get a headache, you go to the doctor. You slip your finger, you cut your finger, you go to the doctor. You get a splinter, you go to the doctor. So health insurance is really very, very important. I don't want to stress that how important it is, and then I really don't want to stress the cost of it. The cost is costing you, and then the cost of the employer or yourself if you get it for yourself. We really don't want to go into that because it could really be costly, especially if you don't have health insurance. Doctor's prices goes up even higher.
Wow.
So
let's start off, and just so everyone kind of knows like who you are and what Classic Insurance is. Give us an introduction on who you are and why you're so important, especially in getting people to really take control of their health.
Well, my name is Roger Mark, and I own a business in Atlanta, Georgia. It's called Classic Tax and Insurance Services. We focus mainly in insurance, and pretty much we deal with pretty much of our aspect of insurance. We deal with health insurance, we deal with life insurance, and we do a little bit of property and casualty insurance. But we specifically deal with health insurance and life insurance because health insurance is pretty much have to deal with your health, and then life insurance have to pretty much deal with your health also and your life, and then leaving something behind for your family. And it's also living expenses also. When people think about life insurance, they're thinking like, hey, I'm about to die, and I really don't need life insurance. I'm leaving money behind for people to leave off for me to get richer and stuff like that. It's really not that, because life insurance pay a whole new different aspect in life, because people are living longer now, and then the insurance company are realizing that. so people can use life insurance to live off of, and especially if you live in to be like 87, 86, and you can't take care of yourself, you need somebody to take care of you, and life insurance pretty much could do that for you. And then health insurance pretty much have to do with your health, like we said, and if you don't take care of your body, and that's pretty much where that life insurance come in.
And there's a lot of people who ain't, and that's crazy because there's a lot of people who not taking their body, not getting the health insurance that they need, and then at the end of life, and we've talked about this on previous episodes, at the end of life, wondering, like their family members got the T-shirt out saying, please for the funeral, please, and
sponsor.
Yes, I mean,
you're looking for sponsorship. Or you look into Facebook and sponsor the funeral or something like that. It's kind of, I'm not gonna say it's crazy, but every day we could go out and spend $20 in a meal. Every day we could go out and spend $40 in a meal, or have not. Then we can afford to buy a simple life insurance, a simple $2,000 or $300,000 policy for 40-year-old women, for 40-year-old men. For like 20 years, it's probably going to cost you no more than like $30 a month, which is term insurance. And the females will be even less than that. But the conception is like people thinking life insurance is expensive, but it really isn't expensive. You have a lot of variations of life insurance that you could get. You could get a term insurance, or you can get a whole life. You have all aspect of whole life, and you have all aspect of term. And then whole life is like you buy it for the life of the policy. Term meaning that you just buy it for a period of time. So if I want a 10-year term, after that 10 year, if I want to renew it, the insurance company gonna have to renew it at the age where you at now. After 10 years, like for example, if I'm 35 now, the same health that I'm at right now at 35, I'm gonna not be the same health at 40 or 50 if I get like a 10-year or 40-year term. So if I get a 10-year term at 45 or 55, when it's time for the insurance company to renew that policy, they're going to give me another policy at the age that I'm currently is. So if I had got a $35,000 policy at 35, at 45, that $35,000 policy might cost about $80, where at 35 it might cost like $30. So your risk and your age and the risk factor as far as like the activity that you do, and then your age also, as we age, is things that we used to do, we don't do as much no more, and our health deteriorate. And that's pretty much where the health insurance come in. If you're keeping up with your doctor's appointment, and then as a male, you gotta get colon, you gotta get your checkup every month,
colonoscopy,
that colon cancer, colonoscopy.
They don't. The men never want to hear about the colonoscopy.
It's funny the men will never worry about it, but the men are the ones that have like the life insurance is higher because you take a lot more risk than female. Like as a female, females take care a lot more better than their body. Rest to us, you get a headache for like weeks and don't go to the doctor.
Oh man,
they ain't worrying about it like, hey, I'm fine, and everything like that. But these are the different aspects of it. But just to give you a little bit of it, but it go more into details. But those are the basics. So like whole life and term life, those are the two options that you have when it comes to life insurance. But as far as like term and whole life, there's different aspect of it.
Even of those two subsets.
Yeah, subsets.
All right. So for the folks who like saying, you know what, like I hear what Roger's saying, and now I'm scared as hell. Like I need to go get some insurance like today. Like I need to get this health insurance. I need to like go to this doctor's appointment. Like let's talk about like in this time frame right now, right? Where, we're in this thing called open enrollment, right? Like what is that? Like if I'm, I'm like a novice, I don't know nothing about health. What does open enrollment mean? And why is the insurance agent an important asset during this time frame?
Well, open enrollment is pretty much, every year, companies that already have health insurance within that company, they have a time period where they have to sign up the people that already have it within that company, because the following year, they like January 1st, your policy just ended. You know what I'm saying? So to give you a time period, like between now is from, December 15, that's when the November 1st to December 15 is pretty much open enrollment period. It's a little bit shorter this year. We have not. Meaning that
we're not going to talk about why it's shorter, but it's
the company that you're with right now, if you have health insurance, and then if you have signed up for it from previous year, you had it from January 1st to December 31st. Now this year, you're going to have to renew it for the following year. So by December 31st, it's pretty much canceled.
So if I have health insurance now, I still have to make sure I got health insurance for next year.
For the next year. So before it canceled in December 31st, so that you guys want to incur a fee or have not, there's a little background that goes into it. They don't want to go into it, but if you want to incur a fee or an increase or have not, so the insurance company say, okay, before it's kind of like having a car insurance. If it lapses, this is, your insurance premium goes up. So the insurance company say, okay, since your insurance, health insurance ended in December, we're going to give you a time zone where you have to, apply for the next year. And then once that time zone cancel, then when the following year comes around, you're already insured. So from December 31st at midnight, January 1st come, you're fully insured. Now, if you don't sign up for it, then you're not insured.
Yeah.
Pretty much what that is. Open enrollment.
The sign-up period ends on December 15th.
December 15th is when the sign-up period ends.
For my Lunch and Learn listeners, I want to give y'all, a highlight. That day is actually my birthday. So if you don't remember when sign-up ends, right, think like, hey, Dr. Barry's birthday is December 15th. I got to get health insurance before December 15th, or come January 1st, like I can't see the doctor.
Can't see the doctor.
So when we talk about if I'm this customer, like I ain't have no insurance last year, but I heard Roger say, I got to get health insurance like ASAP before December 15th. Remember, December 15th, Dr. Barry's birthday. I got to get health insurance before December 15th. Like when I walk into your office and I say, hey, I need some health insurance, like what are my options?
Well, it's kind of like, well, you have plenty of options, either if you're with Aetna, United, Blue Cross, Blue Shield, or all the different ones that's out there. You have options. And the options are like you yourself know your health condition. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like you go to the store, you know your shoe size. Or you walk into the store, you know your outfit size. You know that's what fits you. So therefore you choose that because it fits you. And also, you also got to keep in mind that health insurance only pay 80% of your costs. The other 20% is up to you.
Now,
so you can consider that as a deductible.
I don't even want to gloss on it because I think that's something that a lot of people don't realize. Like, I think a lot of people feel like when they sign up for that healthcare plan, wherever that plan is, Blue Cross, Aetna,
like they are fully insured.
They don't have
nothing else to do. Yeah, but you gotta understand that when you go to insurance, the doctor, some of us have copay, and if you're not paying copay, your premium is double. That's pretty much what that means. Right? If you don't have a copay, that means that your premium is going to be higher than the guy who have a $20 or $40 copay. So if you don't want no copay, that means that the insurance company is going to pass that down to your premium.
So and what is the premium?
Well, the premium varies. All companies, either Aetna, United, Blue Cross Blue Shield, which is the top three that I know. Like anywhere you go, those three would be like one of them would be like the names that come up. Like, you have an option of the gold plan, the silver plan, and well, they have some other plans out there, but most likely you have gold, silver, and then all the different colors or whatever. They'd like, okay, these are the options that you have. And then they were like, okay, you have your deductible could be $5,000, $6,000, $3,000. And then for the gold plan, you have option 1, 2, 3. with different deductibles. And then after all these three options, these are what these options cover.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And then you have the silver plan. These are the silver plan. This is what the silver, you have the 1, 2, 3 of the silver plan. And this is what one's covered. This is what two covered. This is what three covered. So to go down and give you a list, I'm going to give you an example. Blue Cross Blue Shield have about 157 different plans in this system.
Wow.
That's 157 plan that they goes by. So as an insurance agent, I'm sitting here going through all these 157 plan where I'm looking like, okay, for somebody that don't know nothing about health insurance, they're looking at this like, okay, I don't know nothing about this. Like, why should I even choose this option? Like, what option is best for me? You know? And as an agent, this is where you have the conversation with your agent or whatever, or potential client. Like, okay, do you have any health issues? Have you had any health history in your family of this disease, that disease? Because, you know, most diseases are hereditary or the genetic passed down the family from generation to generation.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are basically caused by your diet, like, you know, what you eat every day and stuff like that.
I want to CC to my diabetic, my hypertensive, my high cholesterol patient.
You know, so when people come in and they tell you all of these options as an insurance agent, you want to give them a product that's gonna be where they could be at the doctor. Because if it's something that happens on a regular basis, you want to give them a policy that's gonna cover them, not just one doctor visit or two doctor visits. You want to give them a policy that's gonna cover them for at least 10 or 15 different doctor visits throughout the year.
Wow.
You know. So I give them the leeway of like, okay, if I was the doctor this month or that month or whatever, and then if it's not that serious, do I need to go to a doctor? And that's one of the other things too that the insurance company does. They limit the amount of visit that you go. So if you're one of those people that go to the doctor like almost every day of the week for anything at all, then you know that your premium is going to be, you might want to get a policy that cover you for that purpose only. But besides health insurance, you know, there is this thing they call supplemental insurance also, which is cover you for accident, you know, like, for example, some of the ones that I represent would be Aflac or combined insurance, which is what Aflac.
That's those commercials with the duck, right?
That's the commercial with the duck. And that's Aflac. Mm-hmm. And then you have Combine. Combine is the one that doesn't have commercials at all, but they're the ones that Aflac copy the business model from. You know? Wow. So Combine been here way longer than Aflac, but Aflac being that it's new, they do a lot of commercials, and that's how they pretty much get their clients. And you could consider Combine as the good old boy company. You know, that been here for like about 100 or 200 years.
Wow.
And then Aflac is a new guy in the building, and they gotta let themselves know that they're in the building. So they gotta let everybody know I'm here. So then the building belongs to Combine, but Aflac is inside occupying it.
Okay.
if that makes sense. But like I said before, the health insurance only cover 80% of your premium. I mean your bills. The other 20% is up to you. And that's where I tell clients, you know, supplementary insurances are options that you could have. Also, those people that have like those high premium or high deductible, I tell them to supplement it with a supplemental insurance. Because supplementary insurance, what it does is that whatever the health insurance company don't pay, they cover the other half, the other 20%. Like for example, if I know a young lady who's planning on having kids in the next couple of years, and I would tell her to definitely get a hospital confinement insurance. Because the hospital confinement insurance with Aflac or Combined Insurance, they pretty much pay for pretty much everything that they're gonna be doing to you. Like they pay for your bed. They pay for overnight. They pay for your checkups. They even pay for the chair that they're wheeling you in around the hospital that they charge you for. They even pay for that on a daily basis. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
as a father who's went through 2 pregnancies, when I tell you that these hospitals charge you for everything,
Man, I have clients that coming out of the hospital after a 2-week stay for like $10,000 in check.
Yeah.
And then that money they send it to you. They don't give it to the insurance company, or they don't give it to the doctor or anything like that. I'm sorry, Dr. Pierre, but they don't give that money to the doctor or the hospital. They send that money to you. Now, as a person who's been in the hospital that long, that didn't have, income coming in, now you just end up with the $10,000. The likelihood of you going back to work sooner than later is pretty much widened now. Now I can stay home a little bit longer.
Ladies, listen. If you're not trying to rush back to work, because you got to pay bills, like that supplemental insurance definitely sounds like a move that you really should be thinking about.
It really is, especially if you don't go with that health insurance route. Supplemental insurance is for accident. It covers accident, like for example, the parents who's in a baseball field playing game with his son, and then something happened where he got hit with the ball and he's bleeding. He go to the hospital. Supplemental insurance will cover that because that's considered an accident. The accident could happen on the job or off the job. If it was a car accident, they will cover you for that. It's a lot more into supplemental insurance. I see people don't buy into it, but there's a lot of benefit into it for the people that doesn't really know much about insurance at all.
Wow. So, and I know you talked about like patients with like high premiums and high deductibles. Like, what does it mean to have a high deductible? Like, let's say they come to see me and I charge their insurance, $200. Even though you pay your copay of $20, right? Like, what does it mean to have a high deductible?
Well, certain surgeries cost a lot of money, especially the cancer person, the person that's in a hospital, getting all those tests done, then having surgeries on top of that, and then coming back for checkup, and then having chemo and all of that stuff costs money. You can walk out of the hospital with at least $500,000 worth of bills. So the insurance company is like, okay, for that $500,000, I'm only gonna pay 80% of it. Out of the 80%, this is your deductible.
Ooh.
Like after you pay that deductible, that's when I'm gonna pay the insurance company that's gonna pay their half. Then the other half, the deductible, is up to you to pay.
Wow.
And as a person who have like supplemental insurance, say you have like a cancer policy to cover you in case that did happen, or critical illness, and any type of critical illness at all that you get the policy for that cover for that critical illness. I'm gonna go back to Combined Insurance and Aflac. They have good critical illness policy, and these policies pay you per occurrence, meaning that they give you a certain amount of money per occurrence. And then, say if you have the accident policy and then you have the critical illness policy. So now you have 2 policies that paying you for the cancer policy. Because one, you're already in a hospital because the accidental policy pay for a hospital for the day that you're in there or whatever test they're running in for you, the bed and everything else that they're doing in there. The accident policy is up there for that. Then you have the cancer policy, and the cancer policy is going to pay for your treatment and so on and so forth. And on top of that, they automatically give you a certain amount of money in case you have loved ones that want to come with you to cover hospital bills and to cover traveling expenses and so on and so forth. So that's another good policy to have. So all of that money is not coming out of your pocket because all of that stuff could pretty much put you out of a house.
Oh yeah.
Put you out of your bank account is cleared out and everything like that. So there is policies out there to cover people. It's just that people are not informed of these policies. And then also when they are provided with it, they kind of like, okay, I'm fully covered. Okay, you're fully covered. Did you know that your insurance, the health insurance that you have, depending the type that you have, only cover a certain percentage of your insurance. You know, it's kind of like having a car. It's kind of like having like a car insurance. You know you got to pay the deductible, whatever it is, even if you're full cover or not. You still got to pay the deductible.
And I can tell you, especially in the car insurance standpoint, you may have a deductible that is like $250, $500, $1,000.
Yeah.
But in the insurance realm, doesn't that deductible can sometimes go up to like in the thousands?
It can go from 300 up to 6,000, 7,000, 8,000. It varies.
And so, listeners, I want you to to really catch that. Like, you can have a deductible, and your insurance is like, we're not paying until you pay your part of the deductible. So if you're making that mistake, and I have some patients who make this mistake when I was doing outpatient medicine, that they'll get an insurance plan because for them, they're looking for the one with the lowest premium, right? Which is like the lowest monthly payment per month.
Yes. Yeah. Some people does that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But not realizing that it gets them in trouble.
It does. Because, for example, the example I just gave you earlier, like, I know I'm like somebody that doesn't go in the hospital a lot. And I can tell you throughout the whole year, I probably go to the hospital like one time. And the only time I'm in there is because the weather is changing and I got a cold. And my mom like, you gotta go to the hospital. I'm like, ain't nothing wrong with me. I could drink orange juice or whatever. Then I go to the hospital and sit there for like an hour and then get a bill for like $12,000. So I'm saying like, okay, how did I end up with $12,000? I was only in there. You guys only prescribed me ibuprofen. So for somebody like me that don't go over the hospital a lot, and then in my family, I know I don't have a history of people that have cancer or any critical illness or what have not. And then I watch out what I eat, and I work out a lot. So I keep up with my health. That's one. And I watch what I eat. That's another thing. And then I'm involved in a lot of sports. So that right there keeps me healthy throughout the year. So therefore, when I do get an insurance policy or a health policy, I get a policy to fit my lifestyle. Meaning that I'm not about to get a policy for like $5 or $6. About an $800 policy, a PPO or HMO or EPO or whatever, which one that I get. And EPO would be more costly than a PPO or a HMO, and a HMO would be less costly than a PPO. So meaning that when I do decide in all of these things, my policy got to fit me,
right,
and my lifestyle. So when I do get a policy, the cost it's not as a cost effective, but lifestyle effective. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I know that for how I've been living and how my histories of my family, not saying that I can't get a accident at any given time. So I know I'm going to get an accident policy because accidents happen all the time. You know what I'm saying? As far as like critical illness, I'm not saying that it would not happen to me, but as far as like my health goes throughout my whole life and in my whole family generation, I don't know of anybody that had those type of illnesses. So therefore, a critical illness policy might not do me any good. So I'd be paying for something that I don't think I'm gonna need in the near future. You know what I'm saying? But as I age, I know that down the line I might need that. Then at a certain age, I might get that. But right now, for me, I don't think that's something that I need. So therefore, when I get that policy, I get the policy that fit my lifestyle. If it's cost effective for me, then it's cost effective. If my lifestyle fit the cost, then that's the one that I'm getting. If the lifestyle don't fit my cost, then that's not the one I'm getting.
That's not the one you get.
So for your patient that got the policy that they get, they wasn't really thinking about their lifestyle and their health, meaning that they was putting account like what they're eating, and the exercise or the activity habits. Nowadays people really just don't walk anymore. They take cars everywhere. They take ride everywhere.
They avoid the sun like the plague.
Consider the consideration of being outside, walking around, being active. all of that is helping your body out. And all of that's helping you to stay healthy, getting a strong heart, keeping your legs, your legs muscle functionable. If you don't use these things like as a daily basis, they get contracted and then what happens is that when you're about to use them now, they stress you not to do the activity that you want them to do. And now they're telling you that, no, we're not doing that because you ain't been doing nothing with us for the past 10 years or the past month, And then that's why you have people going out and they're pulling out their hamstring, they're doing all that other stuff, and now they got to go to the hospital.
And you, I think you're being actually generous because I talked about on the hurricane episode that you have people who don't do no type of physical activity the whole year, and a snow's coming, a hurricane's coming, something's happening, and all of a sudden they're raking up leaves, they're shoveling snow, and they're getting a heart attack.
And then in Florida, they're putting up shuttles.
They're putting up shutters.
Climbing up ladders and stuff, and then you have them falling down. People pulling up, having back problems and all the other stuff. So with the hurricane, I'm pretty sure you're gonna have a lot of people in ICU.
we had. It was so funny. We had a lot of patients get admitted for heart attacks. We had so many heart attacks like leading up into and then even after. Or we had a lot of people with broken bones because they're up someplace that they shouldn't have been, but because they don't do no activity the whole year, they don't prepare the whole year. All of a sudden, they think there's like they're He-Man, they're Superwoman, and then
exactly.
No problem.
Yeah, that's what I mean by picking the right health insurance that work for you. And like I said, Blue Cross and Blue Shield have about 157 different plans in the system.
So you can't, especially if you're the novice person. I'm new, I'm fresh, and like I don't know nothing about insurance. And then I go to a website that shows me 150 different options. I'm gonna just turn around. I'm gonna say, you know what? I'm okay. I'm not gonna get health insurance because like I can't choose.
Most people do, or the system pretty much choose one for you. But then again, it might not be the one that you want.
Right.
Because then again, you got to think this is a computer system. It's only going to put in your emotion. Because when you're picking up a health insurance plan, your emotion goes into all of that. So whatever you tell the computer, that's pretty much what the computer is going to do. And then when the computer done compiling all the information that you put in there, it's going to come up with a series of plans for you. And now it's up to you to pick which one is the best one for you. I'm not saying that, computers are not an effective system to use, but for me, I would like to sit in front of somebody that I know that I could ask questions and be like, so if this has happened, how much of it you guys going to cover?
Wow.
Or if that happened, how much of it you guys going to cover? How much of it do I have to pay? So I got to give you scenarios to see which one would be best for me. Okay.
And you can't do that in front of a computer.
You can't do that in front of a computer. Can't do that in front of the computer.
And so before we end, because I know you kind of touched on it when you talked about like the different PPOs and EPOs and HMOs and all these different letters. What can you give listeners just a quick little rundown of what the difference is, so so they have an idea.
All right, HMO stands for Health Maintenance Organization. What pretty much that is, meaning that you have a primary doctor. Like, for example, I'll use you for example, Dr. Pierre. Dr. Pierre is my primary doctor. Whenever something happened that I have to go see a doctor, I go to Dr. Pierre first. Like, if I need to see a specialist, I have to go to Dr. Pierre. Dr. Pierre have to recommend me to see a specialist. If Dr. Pierre don't recommend me to go to see a specialist, I can't see a specialist.
Oh, wow.
So that's pretty much what an HMO means. HMO meaning that if my primary doctor don't recommend it, I can't do it.
Okay.
So if I need if I have a skin rash, I need to see a dermatologist. The person that would recommend me would be Dr. Pierre. I cannot just get up and go to see a dermatologist. The exception with that is that OBGYN for female, that's the only exception to that.
You can go to them directly.
They go to them directly. But as far as that goes, as far as everything else, your primary doctors is pretty much it. I mean, PPO stands for Preferred Provider Organization, and meaning that you do not have to go to your primary doctor.
So pretty much they can skip me.
They could skip you.
Oh wow! Okay.
You can go to any healthcare professional you want without a referral, inside or outside of your network. Because with the HMO, you got a network. A PPO, you can go outside your network. So meaning that HMO, you have a network of people that the insurance company already talked to, and then you go to Dr. Pierre. Dr. Pierre will be like, oh, these are the people that's in your cluster or your providers within your HMO. These are the people you could go to. Okay. Now with the PPO say, okay, then I don't have a primary doctor. I could go to whoever doctor, and then I could go to whomever key person outside. If I need to see a specialist outside my cover area, I can go. That's pretty much what a PPO is. And now you have the EPO, which stands for Exclusive Provider Organization. And then the EPO is pretty much, you have the flexibility of a HMO and you have the flexibility of a PPO put together. That's pretty much all it is.
So if I was
you don't need to choose a primary care physician, you don't need to refer to see a specialist or anything like that.
So if I'm a customer, like, why would I even choose an HMO, like a place where I gotta go see Dr. Barry first before I see any? Like, what would the point?
Price. Price. Like, for example, if I know that as an insurance carrier, I have about 1,000 people within my network, right? So I come to Dr. Pierre and I come to a bunch of doctors like, hey, I have 1,000 clients in my system, and these are the services that they wanted, and these are the prices that I'm charging. And then now, as a doctor, if you want to capture these clients, these are the prices that you should charge to these clients. You know what I'm saying? So now, when these clients come, they know they're paying these charges for these, whatever it is that they're covering for. These are the prices that they're charging. That's everybody within that network.
That network, okay.
So now I haven't talked to anybody outside that network yet about any of these prices or anything. So anybody outside the network could charge you whatever price they want because you're outside the network. Now, if you was inside the network, it would have cost a certain price. Now you're outside the network. Now it's going to cost a different price. Now, where in the network, it could have cost like $5. Now, outside the network, it's costing us like $50 or $60, just to give you an example.
Wow.
So that's the reason for the HMO network.
And usually that $50 to $60, is it that the insurance that pay for that, or is that me?
Well, out of 15, the insurance company gonna pay the 80%. And then out of that 50, the insurance company gonna pay the 80%. Or they might not cover it at all.
Wow.
Or they might not cover it at all.
Because I stepped outside the network. Like, we're not covering that.
So since you're outside the network, we might want to look at this to see the urgency of why you went there, and then to see if we're gonna cover it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the difference, I guess you would say.
And the PPO's more expensive because I can go wherever I want.
You go wherever you want. You don't have to go directly to the doctor, and you have the liberty of going outside the network.
Right. And I can tell you, especially on from the physician side, guys, I like to always give you the physician side of these things. Because I've taken care of patients who are on HMO, and I was a part of their HMO plan, and I've taken care of patients who are part of their PPO plan. And he hit it right head on the money. Yeah, the HMO folks, they come right to me, and sometimes I feel bad, right? Because sometimes, like, especially for my women patients, right? Because, for example, like, women can see the OB as long as it's a well visit, right? As long as you're getting your pap smear, you can go directly to the OB. You don't got to come see me. But I used to have patients who were pregnant, lo and behold, pregnant, and they had to see me first before they saw the OB. And the whole time I'm looking like, hey, I'm not going to do nothing with you. I'm just gonna refer. Hey, congratulations. Get your vitamins and go to your OB. And
Exactly.
if I'm a patient, right? Because imagine the patient still got to pay me. Like, so they still got to pay that copay to come see me before they can see the OB, even though everything is saying go see the OB.
Yep.
And then on the flip side, I used to have patients who were on that PPO, and they love and this is when, and I think Roger talked about like making sure you know who you are. If you're the type of patient who does not want to have to come see their primary care doctor every time you want to see the gastroenterologist, the dermatologist, the cardiologist, like all of those ologists, like if you're that type of patient, please don't get no HMO because you're going to be upset. You're going to be upset at me because you're going to have to see me every single time, and you're going to be mad that you can't go directly, to the person you want to go to.
Yep.
So from a physician standpoint, I think, and I hope we don't like gloss over it. Like, it's really important to know who you are, like what type of patient you are going in. Like, because if you're the type of patient who like you don't like that type of structure, you need to go get you a PPO. And yes, the PPO is going to cost you money, but it's going to cost you less headache down the line.
Yep.
But if you're a patient, you're like, hey, you know what? I don't care. I like seeing Dr. Barry. I don't care if I got to see my primary care doctor, or I want my primary care doctor to be the person who takes care of all of my problems anyways, and he only refers me when he absolutely has to. Maybe an HMO plan is in the works for you as well. So I want to stress that, like, we talked a lot about the insurances, different type of insurances, but I think the most important thing he talked about throughout this whole time is really knowing yourself. And I think a lot of times patients don't really know who they actually are in the realm of, taking care of themselves and getting health insurance. And, he even alluded to it even earlier in the beginning when he talked about getting life insurance. Like, if you don't know the type of person you are, you're not going to know the type of insurance you need. So that's why I always stress my patients, like, see an insurance agent. Me, I'm a physician, right? You don't want to ask me about insurances. Like, if I see 150 different insurances, I'm turning around, I'm closing my browser, and I'm gonna go elsewhere. I don't know. So I really want to stress the importance, especially because, again, remember my birthday, December 15th. December 15th, end of open enrollment. If we need you to get, if you walking around here and you don't have insurance right now. Roger's actually he's about to give you all his contact information so he can get you set up with some insurance. Do so ASAP, right? Because I don't want you to be in 2018 wondering why I let this window pass by, like why I let open enrollment pass by without getting health insurance that I absolutely need.
And another thing also, Dr. Pierre, life insurance, besides health insurance, I think life insurance is something that everybody should have.
Oh, yes.
Especially if you, the African American community, where they don't think like life insurance is important. And the island community is another people that don't think that life insurance is important. But you also got to keep in mind that you have burial costs that you're leaving behind, especially if you have family member that can't afford nowadays, even for cremation, it costs $5,000.
Yep.
So even if you get like a $10,000 life insurance, that's something that you could have to help out with your funeral.
I'm glad you say that too, because I think a lot of people don't take into the fact that it costs money just to bury the person. Like, we're not saying you got to get $1 million life insurance policy. We're not even saying that. But please,
we just want you to have something. You just have something to bury you. If you don't want to leave if you don't want to leave nothing behind for your kids or your wife or your mom or your dad, if you don't want nobody worrying about how they're gonna bury you, because they're already grieving about your death.
Yep.
And now they gotta figure out how to bury you. One thing I hate is seeing stuff on Facebook and Instagram go sponsor somebody for their burial. And I'm like, why am I sponsoring somebody for burial they could have spent like $10, $5, $20 a month to just get a basic policy just to bury them. I'm sorry to say, but I just don't feel like as a as a 34-year-old man that I should be paying for your burial. I'm sorry. I guess this is something I just don't see that I should be doing. I'm gonna help out, but that's something that I don't think that people shouldn't be putting on Facebook
it shouldn't be expected.
And Instagram, and it shouldn't be expected, especially nowadays. You have like so many life insurance companies out there that's more than willing to cover you. Back in the day, they wasn't covering AIDS, they wasn't covering high blood pressure, they wasn't covering, you know, any of those critical illness. Now they're covering almost everything. So if they're covering all that, then you know that you need it. Just if you don't come to me, if you don't go, even if you don't come to me, I would stressfully encourage you to go to any insurance agent, get a life insurance.
Yeah, life insurance, and that's important. And he talked about how like in the life insurance world, they're starting to cover these things. Can I tell y'all, folks? And again, and this is something again, we're not gonna get political on here. I know y'all don't listen to Dr. Barry to get political, but before the Affordable Care Act plan, insurance companies were denying you if you were anemic. Insurance companies were denying you if you had children. Insurance companies were denying you if you were obese, if you were hypertensive. Like insurance companies were denying you left. You had to literally be the most perfect, healthy person in the world to get insurance. And remember what Roger said, right? If I'm healthy, I'm going to the gym, I'm eating right, why am I going to get health insurance? That makes absolutely no sense. So before the Affordable Care Act, we had a lot of people who could not, even if they wanted to, could not get health insurance because of it, right? So like I don't want to like, you know, and again, I hate to get political on y'all, but like you know, when we talk about, you know, the Affordable Care Act, and you know, those who may not even recognize when I say Affordable Care Act, when you see people say Obamacare, that's what they're talking about.
Obamacare.
Like when you hear people say Obamacare, that's what they're talking about. Like, and this is what like really the open enrollment's about. And this is why I'm so passionate. This is why I wanted to make sure I got, you know, that's man, that's, you know, that's where it's at, man. So Rogers, please tell the people how can they get in contact with you to get their life in order, to get their health insurance in order. Like how can they reach out?
Well, I'm pretty much located in Georgia. I'm licensed in Florida, and pretty much anywhere that you might need a product I could get licensed for. But I'm basically licensed in Florida and Georgia because that's pretty much where most of my customers come from.
Okay.
But if you need something, I can find it for you. Definitely will get a license to get it for you, or I could refer you to somebody that could get it for you. But I could be reached, Classic Insurance on Instagram, Classic Insurance on Facebook, and you can look me up at classicinsures.com. And my phone number is 678-664-8787. Or you can reach me by email, Classic Insurance, the last two letters, which is CE, is SE@gmail.com.
And I'm gonna have all of this information in the show notes. So even if you're driving, you're watching TV, whatever, all of this information will be in the show notes. Again, I don't think I can stress the importance enough that, you know, getting on health insurance and even life insurance specifically, getting on, you know, insurance, like getting protected, you know, because we know, like we know what's guaranteed is that you can either get sick or you can die. Like that's guaranteed.
Yeah.
Like that's right. Like it's happening. Like let me tell you right now, someone's gonna get sick, someone's gonna die.
These are the two things that you know in life that you gotta have.
Right.
Like I saw this thing the other day where it say, you know, our cell phone, we put insurance on our cell phone while we're paying $20 a month, but we will not get a life insurance on ourselves.
Hey, that's wow. That is funny. Shout out to AppleCare. Shout out to
because I know Sprint is taking that $20 out of my account every month for that phone coverage, and they get it now. After I pay that $20, depending what type of phone you got. If you have an iPhone, you better have that $250 to pay on top of that $20 you've been paying to get that new phone that you want. You know? So if we're doing that, then why can't we get a simple life insurance for ourselves or cover ourselves for like the other things? Because if you get sick, you ain't able to pay your bills, Sprint will cut you off. Yeah.
Yes.
If you die, you can't. If you die, you can't pay Sprint. If you die, you gotta have that life insurance to bury yourself or to pay any other bills that you left behind.
I love
So
it.
these are the two things I would say. Like, as an individual, I don't care. Like, young kids are dying now like flies nowadays. I don't accept it either. But that's another thing you have to worry about. Like, parents are bearing kids more now than they were in the 80s and 90s, which is ridiculous. I don't like it at all. But that's something that you might have to think about. Getting insurance on your child. It's hard to think about these things, but this is the life that we're living nowadays, and this is the life that we have to be aware of. That's the life that we have to be aware of, and then that's to protect. If it's things out there to protect us, to cover us when these situations happen, please just go ask for. If you don't know anything about insurance, you need more information, give me a call or get in contact with Dr. Pierre. You know how to get in contact with me, and if we can't help you, we'll definitely find somebody that'll help you. And one of the things that I hate is like somebody that don't know how to do things. They're just trying to figure out how to do it for you. I'm not that person. If I don't know it, I'm gonna tell you I do not know it. But if I will find somebody that know it for you, and I will refer you to that person.
I love it. Absolutely love it. Well, again, Roger, thank you for enlightening my audience. And
I appreciate you for having me.
I definitely want to have, and we touched on the life insurance aspect, and if we can get a chance, I'm pretty sure there's like a life insurance awareness month. Whenever that happens, we're gonna make sure we get you back on the show. But appreciate it, and thank you for helping enlighten the audience here on the Lunch and Learn with Dr. Barry. And like I always end my shows, again, the goal is to help prevent like the preventable death, right? Like that's what we're here for. That's what health insurance does, and that's what life insurance does. So I'm gonna see you guys next week. Hey, Dr. Bear here. You have just listened to another great episode of the Lunch and Learn with Dr. Bear. I hope you're excited and hope you learned something from today's episode. I hope you learned from all of the episodes that you get a chance to listen to. Before you leave, if you not have already done so, go ahead and subscribe to the podcast. I am everywhere where you like to listen to podcasts at, whether it be Apple Podcasts, Google Play, SoundCloud, Stitcher Radio, iHeartRadio, wherever you like listening to podcasts, the Lunch and Learn with Dr. Barry is there. Also, go ahead and follow me on my social media outlets. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, as well as Twitter, all at Lunch Learn Pod, whether it be twitter.com/lunchlearnpod, facebook.com/lunchlearnpod, and instagram.com/lunchlearnpod, where you can, get any videos, any pictures I may post, any messages or writing. So please follow me on there right after you go ahead and subscribe to the podcast, and right before you leave me a 5-star review on either Apple Podcasts or Stitcher Radio or wherever you can actually leave me a review. I'm much appreciative of all of you guys' support. And like I said earlier in the show, I will see you next week.